Okay, so we have TNA Impact from last Thursday night. This is the open fight night edition of TNA Impact. The Broken Hardys come down to the ring. Matt says that the 7 deities have told him that they must go win all of the tag team gold in the world. Matt then cuts a promo on the following teams, which are the Bucks of Youth, the Day of New, and the Family of Wyatt. Jeff, of course, has his open fight night challenge briefcase, and he makes the open challenge, calls out world champion Bobby Lashley. Lashley says that he knew Jeff was going to call him out, so he's prepared to defend the said title. We have a TNA World Heavyweight Champion, Bobby Lashley, taking on Jeff Hardy. Jeff wipes out on a flip dive, and Lashley hits the spear to win the match 1, 2, 3. Before that, there was a pretty good brawling. Lashley hit a power bomb onto the steps. Good match. Go out of your way to check it out, Brian. I'm sure you'll take the time to do so.
Absolutely.
After the win by Bobby Lashley, Eddie Edwards comes down to the ring. He is pissed. He challenges Triple B, Bobby Lashley, to a match. He then continues to call him Triple B. Lashley cuts him off, says, what is this Triple B that you're talking about? He says, it's a nickname I gave you. Bitch Boy Bobby. Ooh. So,
dude, are you kidding me?
I promise you. So, bitch boy Bobby says, fine, I'll give you the match, but after I beat you, you can't challenge me for the title. Again, Eddie Edwards reluctantly agrees. We go to the back, and Tyrus and Eli Drake are talking about their open fight night briefcase challenge that they will use later on tonight. We go backstage once again, and Rosemary is offering Brandi Rhodes a spot in the Decay stable, but Brandi's not having it. Rosemary, of course, is pissed. Then we have a man. This Aron Rex and Spud stuff is something else. Move
Bad.
On. It's awful. Aron Rex in makeup. He's wearing lipstick.
Dude, I told you this is a Vince Russo deal where this was what he wanted to do in WWE, and Vince said hell no. And so now he's gone somewhere else and he's doing this.
He is, way more motivated than when he was the grand champion, Aron Rex. But, boy, this is, it's something. So we have Sienna taking on Brooke, the returning Brooke. And this match started with Brooke's ass running wild. Eventually, Brooke goes up top. Maria interferes, pushes her off. Sienna hits the silencer and wins the match. We have another Aron Rex and Spud video segment. Aron Rex getting more makeup applied to his face. Spud compliments him in a variety of different ways, calls him amazing, beautiful, enchanting, and then they both look into the camera and say, "Would you say rexcellent?" The DCC then came out with their briefcase to make the open challenge. They call out Decay to get the culmination of a long-term storyline that began when Bram was dating Rosemary months and months ago. This of course led to the formation of the DCC along with Kingston and James Storm. So this match, it's all 3 guys in the DCC versus Decay. And it was a wild brawl, pretty damn fun. Bram hits Abyss in the face with a beer bottle. James Storm super kicks Abyss, who then falls onto a barbed wire board that was set up in the ring. Eddie Kingston is covered in thumbtacks. Bram and Storm set up Crazy Steve on a table. The table is set up between the ring and the guardrail. They hit a spike pile driver on Crazy Steve through the table to the floor, pin him, and get the win. Finally, Bram gets his revenge. Damn good match.
Thank God.
Dude, this is a damn good match. You know what? This is a damn good show. So in the back, Maria and her husband, Mike Bennett, congratulate Braxton Sutter for the date that he went on with Laurel Van Ness last week. They want Braxton Sutter to propose to Laurel, and if he doesn't, Maria will do something dastardly to Allie. Grand champion Drew Galloway comes out, says he's going to make this belt the #1 title in the world. Moose comes out, interrupts, says basically that he wants another match. At first, he gave Drew Galloway benefit of the doubt on the low blow, but now he knows he's a scumbag. and wants another match. Galloway says, look, I want to make this the best belt in the world, so people don't want to see Drew Galloway versus Moose for the 17th time. I'm going to give somebody else a title shot, and this guy was looking for one in the back. So he brings him out. He introduces his opponent, Rob Risen. So Galloway starts the match off by slapping Risen in the face, then yelling at him, "This is your shot. Fire up." Rob Risen comes back, hits some punches. Galloway short pile drives him, and then hits the Future Shock DDT to win. Trevor Lee comes out with his briefcase, and he calls out X Division champion DJZ for a match, a ladder match to be exact. And DJZ comes out. He has a haircut. It sucks. It looks awful. One of the worst I've seen in a long time. He's also selling his leg from last week when Trevor Lee and Shane Helms beat him down with a chair. So essentially, Trevor Lee beats him down with a chair again, traps his leg in the ladder, climbs it, and wins the belt. So we have a new X Division champion, Trevor Lee. Robbie E interrupts Aron Rex and Spud in the back, challenges him to a match. Aron Rex doesn't want to have the match right now, but we'll face him next week. Then he clacks his rings in Robbie E's face. Then we have Eli Drake and Tyrus come out. Tyrus has the mic because the people do not deserve to hear Eli Drake speak. Tyrus says, look, Eli, I know we talked about a different plan in the back, but I got a great idea. We're going to call out EC3 with the briefcase. So EC3 comes out, and EC3 at this point had torn, I think he torn something in his side or his leg or hip or something. His side is hugely bruised, large purple bruise, just looks absolutely terrible. And he gets in the match anyways because, that's how it works here in TNA. And he wins with a roll-up after Eli Drake was laying a beating on him. So he wins the match. Eli Drake grabs a bat that he had used multiple times during the match, went crazy, beating up EC3 with it. Lights go out. DCC's in the ring. They slowly lurch towards Tyrus and Eli Drake and then beat down EC3. Tyrus and Eli Drake turn their backs and are celebrating to the crowd. DCC then attacks them. They take EC3 outside, give him a spike pile driver onto a steel chair, and the show is over.
Hey!
How long was that? Did you time me?
I didn't time you, but I think you exceeded the 5-minute time limit, but that's okay.
Okay, well,
you deserved it with such a great show.
You're going to have to get me on the clock next time.
I'll get a clock and there will be a noise.
What are you going to do?
I mean, what am I going to do?
Well, I don't know. It sounded like you were firing up, like Rob Risen.
No, the 5-minute mark, you'll hear this. That means you're done.
Dun, 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 dun. Where's that? There we go.
There's always this one as well.
Oh, God.
An old classic.
And that's what I hear every time Simp speaks.
And I will be happy to hit the music when you exceed the time limit. Are you ready?
Yep.
Get set. And go.
Okay.
5 seconds down. 5 seconds.
The DCC beat Eli Drake and Tyrus. James Storm hit a super kick on Tyrus to win the match. This was a brawl, as most of the DCC matches are. Good stuff. Not too bad. So backstage, we had a segment with Allie and Braxton Sutter, which Maria interrupted. And Maria mentioned that she wants Braxton Sutter to propose later tonight.
Are you awake or what's going on?
I took a soma.
Give me a break. Oh, you're a wrestler now?
Yeah, brother. I took a gimmick, brother. So Brandi Rhodes comes down to the ring, cuts a promo on Rosemary. It was pretty good because she starts going, the girl who I'm going to call out is devious. I don't know what she said really, but like devious. And the crowd goes, Maria, evil Maria. So they keep chanting for Maria. And she goes, it's Rosemary. So Rosemary comes out. Rosemary says that they offered Brandi a spot in Decay, but instead they're going to fight. They surround her, and she locks on a guillotine choke until Moose runs out for the save. Then, in the back, we had a promo with Moose and Brandi Rhodes, where Brandi said next week they challenge Decay to a match against Big Moose and Mini Moose. And if you mess with Brandi, you mess with Moose. Moose, Moose. He did his chant backstage by himself. Let's think about that for a second.
What a geek.
Yeah. Yeah, he is. So we had Aron Rex taking on Robbie E. Aron Rex hit him with the rings, pinned him. We had a segment backstage. Eddie Edwards is with his crew preparing for his match. His crew, of course, consists of his tag team partner, Davey Richards, his wife, Alicia, and Angelina Love, Davey Richards' wife. Mike Bennett and Braxton Sutter talk backstage. Braxton Sutter says he's going to do the right thing tonight. Hardy's get in the ring. They introduce a revamped Vanguard 1 who has been updated by the 7 deities, who then teleports them to Mexico, Tijuana.
Sounds awesome.
Where they will start looking for tag team titles, tag team gold. So then we had Drew Galloway take on Maha Billy Shira. Shira actually wins the first round against the grand champion Drew Galloway. Then Drew Galloway begins round 2 by hitting the Claymore kick, the Future Shock DDT, and wins the match. In the back, Braxton Sutter tries to get rid of Laurel Van Ness. He drops his water bottle, gets down on a knee to pick it up. Van Ness goes, "Oh my God, Braxton, you're proposing. I say yes." And Braxton Sutter tries to explain what happened, but in fact, it was too late. So Helms Dynasty comes out to the ring. Shane Helms.
Too late? He's forced to marry her now because she was confused? Wow.
That's how it works in TNA.
I hope it went better for you on Monday.
Hey, will you be quiet? You're cutting into my time.
Sorry, go ahead.
So Helms Dynasty comes out to the ring. Shane Helms starts talking about the weak link, blah, 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 blah. You can see where this is going. The new X Division champion, Trevor Lee, then blindsides Andrew Everett, and they beat him down. Hey, what's going on with that baby back there? So the Hardys are in Tijuana, and they end up at Auditorio Municipal, which is a match between them and Psicosis and Super Crazy from the Crash promotion, I believe, which will be on television next week for us to enjoy, or this week, tomorrow. So then we have Bobby Lashley taking on Eddie Edwards for the title. Bobby Lashley wins when Davey Richards interferes after Edwards had hit the Boston Knee Party. Richards pulls the ref. Angelina Love starts beating up Eddie Edwards' wife. This distracts Eddie. Davey Richards hits him with the title belt. Lashley hits the spear, and we go away.
Honest to God, that's the whole report?
What do you want?
How'd you do that in 4 minutes, 37 seconds?
I went quick.
You didn't watch the whole show, did you?
I did.
No, you didn't. I'll bet you started an hour and 40 minutes in.
No.
Because you knew you only had 5 minutes to recap it, and you did the last 20 minutes, and then you were done.
Ask me a question.
Dude, you only went through like 3 segments. We all know there's 84 segments on every Impact show.
Ask me a question.
About what? I don't watch the show.
About the show. Yeah, so what the hell? How do you know? You don't know what the hell went on.
I don't know what went on, but there's no way.
First of all, listen, they're under new management at this point, so guess what? There are less segments.
Listen, Tom, you rushed your ass through last week. You were talking so fast for last week's report, and you still took 7 minutes to get it done. This time, you took a soma. You were half fucking asleep. You got it done in 4 minutes, 37 seconds with me interrupting?
I watched the whole damn thing.
I don't buy it.
What do you want?
How much did you recap? Just the important stuff?
I'm not selling it. I would even deem some of it important.
Now, the Hardy stuff sounds awesome. That's all I care about. I was going to let you keep going because I wanted to hear how it all ended up.
They just went to Mexico.
They just got teleported to Mexico? Yeah, this sounds fucking amazing.
There was a new Vanguard 1. He teleported to Mexico. They're in the streets of Mexico looking around like what the hell's going on. And then they're at the arena.
God
damn. It wasn't long stuff. They were in the ring longer talking.
You know what's funny is when I started that timer, This was the first time in months that I became invested in the TNA report, and I actually became really interested, and then it was over.
It was kind of like Emelina's debut for me.
Sorta. Kinda.
Built up the anticipation.
Not to mention,
the
I
blood
just figured
flow,
out
everything.
I just figured out the other day that Lauren Van Ness is the former Chelsea. What?
I've mentioned that, by the way.
Yeah, I had to see her before it connected.
Laurel Van Yes.
Oh,
she also goes by.
Laurel Van Yes. I got it. So there you go. Let's go to the Impact report.
Okay, so are you ready to start that clock?
Yeah, hold on. I got to get the sounds ready first.
If in case I go over, I'm not going over, I'll tell you that much.
All righty. Let's get on your mark, Tom. Are you on your mark? God, now your baby's making more noise than the dog.
Well, the dog's not making any noise, so...
So the baby's making more noise than your dog. Thank you.
Correct, yeah, I guess that was a true statement.
All right, here we go. Ready, set, go.
Okay, so we opened up with Brandi Rhodes and the Moose defeating Rosemary and Crazy Steve with Abyss at ringside in a mixed tag team match. So men versus men, women versus women. This match was the drizzling shits. Brandi and Moose won after a double game changer discus lariats. Brandi is a shade of green that I will refer to as mantis green. Moose hit a nice one-arm power bomb on Crazy Steve over the top rope onto Abyss on the outside during the match. That was cool, but that's all you need to know from that. In the back, Brandi and Moose celebrated their victory, and Moose said that he will always have Brandi's back if somebody tries to mess with her, and that if she has any problems, she can call him or text him. Wouldn't do that to a married woman. Say that. So Eddie Edwards was pissed. Came down to the ring, called out Davey Richards. Instead, Angelina Love came out, talked for him, basically called Eddie Edwards selfish, and blamed him for Davey Richards' injury in the past. Instead, Eddie will face Davey Richards tonight in a no disqualification match. Street fight. So we go to a series of backstage vignettes, which feature Mike Bennett throwing Braxton Sutter a bachelor party. There's a guy offering Braxton Sutter drugs. There is, I'm not sure if there's a woman or a different gender there, but it's quite a cast of characters at this bachelor party, which Braxton Sutter does not want to be at, by the way. In Tijuana, Mexico, the Broken Hardys arrive at the Municipal Auditorium. Lots of screaming from Broken Matt. Allie had put together a bachelorette party for Laurel Van Ness. This was unbeknownst to Allie that this was for Laurel and Braxton Sutter. And Maria shows up with her lady squad. She is not pleased at the planning that went into the party, as it was full of piñatas and child balloons, which of course made Allie happy, but not very fitting for a bachelorette party. Jesse Goddard's beat Kingston with a Goddard's awful springboard forearm to win the match.
I got it.
Yeah, perhaps even more Goddard's awful than the pun itself. After the match, the lights went out. DCC was in the ring, but Goddard's got away. Braxton Sutter tries to get out of his bachelor party. Mike Bennett will not leave him. And then some guy crushes the drug dealer with a big splash. Last night, we had... I'm sorry. Let's just move it. That segment sucked. Maria Laurel, Sienna, still at the bachelorette party with Allie. It's no good. We had a Fact of Life segment with Tyrus. Brings out his guest, Eli Drake. Eli Drake ditched him last week during a match against the DCC. And Tyrus was angry and challenged Eli Drake to a match next week. In Tijuana, the Hardys met up with Conan, who is the boss man at the Municipal Auditorium. And Conan... The Hardys wanted a shot at the tag team titles, and Conan was fine with that as long as the Hardys agreed to work for free, which indeed they did. They said they didn't even want any pesos, and Conan kept harping on this, asking them, "You guys are good to work for free, right? No pay." The Hardys took on Super Crazy and Psicosis. They won the Crash Tag Team Championships here in Tijuana, Mexico. This was like a split screen. Sometimes they had 3 different screens on there. Highlights of the match, just basically clips. The finish was a twist of fate on Psicosis, and Jeff hit a Swanton bomb to win, crushed Psicosis. The Hardys teleported out of Mexico with Vanguard 1 before Conan could get his belts back from them. So,
all right, so hold on. I'm stopping the clock here because I got to jump in.
Yeah.
Tell me all about the digitized referee.
It was just blurred out.
Did they explain it, or was it just a random blurry guy counting the pins?
Well, there was no commentary during this part, so it was just like clips of the match, and it was jumping all over the place. The referee was kind of like a non-factor in the whole thing.
I see. You know, I got to say, I don't know if you're aware of this or not, Tom. I know you're a big fan of After Dark, but everyone tries to take these photographs of Bigfoot, but the photos are always blurry blobs, right?
No,
yes,
not always. Sometimes
always.
There's like that Zapruder film where he's in the woods.
That was pretty clear. That is the clearest. And that was not the Zapruder film, by the way. That was the Kennedy assassination. It's a Patterson-Gimlin film.
I know that. Oh, sorry.
Point of this is
the Kimmy Gibbler film or whatever.
The theory is that the reason these Bigfoot are also blurry in the films and in the photographs is because Bigfoot is blurry.
Huh.
So maybe this referee is just a blurry man. Maybe he wasn't. Maybe it was a Bigfoot. Maybe we've got the new Patterson-Gimlin film right here from the Crash promotion in Tijuana. I'm going to get Vanguard 1 on that. We follow each other on Twitter. Go ahead.
You should get him on the show.
I should, actually. Go ahead.
Get him on Wrestling Observer Live. Are you starting the clock?
Yep.
Okay. We had Brooke defeating Sienna with Maria. Brooke countered Sienna's AK-49 or whatever the hell it is. I think it's like a rack attack. Or wait, what was the other move? It's that backbreaker that like Albert did. Did he do that?
The what? Forget it. You're running out of time.
I know, Brooke won with a roll-up. Bobby Lashley comes down to the ring and says that nobody can beat him, not in pro wrestling, not in MMA. And then, lo and behold, Josh Barnett walks out there. Fucking weirdest thing I've ever seen on Impact in a long time, and that's including what the Hardys are doing. So Barnett challenges Lashley to a title match, but basically Lashley blows him off. Barnett said, look, I came here, this is what he said, he came here to make Bobby Lashley more worthy to hold the title by taking... Fuck. Brian, you interrupted me.
And I actually hit it at the wrong time. I was late. There we go. Yeah, I interrupted you, but I also stopped the clock. And then I restarted it. Go ahead and finish. Go ahead.
Davey Richards beat Eddie Edwards with a conchairto.
That's it? You chewing me out for interrupting you was longer than the end of your review. So they're all broken up now, huh?
They were broken up last week.
That's what I meant.
When Davey Richards attacked Eddie Edwards when he was facing Bobby Lashley.
See, I told you I listen.
Okay, so TNA Impact 2/23/2017. We have a memorial graphic that opens up the show for Chavo Classic, Ivan Koloff, Nicole Bass, and Animal Steel. We get a Matt and Jeff segment in Cameron, North Carolina. We then go to Cody, who is in the Impact Zone. He comes down to the ring with Brandi. He looks to be the opposite of pissed off. Very happy. He talks about Moose having Brandi's back against Decay. He then asks Moose to come out so he can thank him. Brandi starts doing the Moose chant. Cody's smiling, laughing. He accuses them of then working towards sleeping together behind his back since he is gone. Brandi chastises him for embarrassing her. Cody says it was all a joke and poor taste. I'm sorry. He kisses Brandi, shakes Moose's hand, and then boots him right in the moose balls. Then hits Crossroads and goes to the back. We had Tyrus versus Eli Drake. They put over Tyrus as a Fox News contributor. Was not aware of that. Drake decks Hebner for no reason. Offers Tyrus a raise and a handshake. Tyrus refuses the handshake but says, I'll give you a hug. They hug. We had a fucking swerve on the nothing match. Second match on Impact. Pope says new management won't let things like this fly in the future. Laurel is getting dressed for her impending nuptials with Braxton Sutter and Maria and Sienna. They all wonder where the ring bearer Allie is. Eli and Tyrus say in the back that the most important language in the world is money and that it indeed builds friendships. We go to a promo with the Broken Hardys where Matt is transformed into a gold version of Skarsgård, the boat that will house all the tag team belts that they acquire. Then he reappears, kind of dressed like a pharaoh. They begin to chant, procure, 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 and teleport off with Vanguard 1. Jade and Rosemary cut a face-to-face promo where they argued in the ring, results in them booking a last knockout standing match for the title in the future. Braxton, in a backstage promo or segment, tells Mike Bennett that his wedding has nothing to do with him and Laurel, and instead he's doing it for Allie. Quite interesting. Brian, you there?
Oh, sorry.
Just making sure. I've had to touch the machine like 3 times.
I'm here.
Sure I wasn't disconnected. Thanks. Here. You can at least give me a fucking breath or something.
Hey.
How do I know you didn't die over there?
Dude, I muted myself so you could just go on. I was being
okay,
John
we'll go
Cena.
Back. Okay, well, mute yourself again. I'll finish this up. So Jesse Goddard versus Bram. Goddard wins after catapulting Bram into Eddie Kingston, who was up on the apron, and then he pins Bram with a small package. The Hardys are teleported with Vanguard 1 to Mid-Atlantic Wrestling. They want a shot against the champs, Mattis and Rage, who apparently have not lost in 12 years. Instead, the Mid-Atlantic Cowboys show up. They are apparently the number 1 contenders. They want to thwart the Hardys' attempts at winning the belts. But the Mid-Atlantic locker room thinks that if the Hardys win, that could be their shot out of there and onto bigger and better things. And they take them to Madison Rage, the champs. A brawl breaks out in the locker room, and Madison Rage accept the challenge. They show clips of the match. Again, they're playing strange Impact, like elevator music. There's 3 screens. The Hardys win with a twist of fate, swanton bomb combo, and then are teleported back to Cameron, North Carolina with the belts. So Allie eventually shows up at the bridal suite reluctantly. Laurel says that she has a marriage to consummate tonight. Allie runs out of the room. She leaves the bridal suite, runs into Braxton backstage. She asks him if he really indeed loves Laurel. He says that he does not. She doesn't understand why he's going to marry Laurel, and she storms off. Then we had a Josh Barnett background interview where he puts over his catch wrestling lineage. Then he came out here and killed Bad Bones. Barnett was like a total MMA fighter, except for the vicious power bomb he landed, just killing Bad Bones. Then hits a Northern Lights suplex, floats over into a double wrist lock, a.k.a. the Kimura. However, Bad Bones tapped before Josh Barnett even locked his hands. So, guy needs to work on his submission defense immediately. We had DJZ versus Trevor Lee for the X Division belt. DJZ hit an awesome springboard reverse Rana out of the corner. Then Shane Helms grabs DJZ's foot. DJZ fights him off, goes for the ZDT, but the distraction was indeed enough to let Trevor Lee schoolboy him, grab the tights, and retain the belt. Then we had the wedding. Braxton Sutter and Laurel Van Ness getting married. This was awesome. Best segment in the history of professional wrestling. Everyone here was amazingly campy. We had Aron Rex come out with Spud as the flower girl. Just awesome job by Spud. Mike Bennett comes out as the best man. He's double fisting the alcoholic version of the maneuver. Braxton reluctant to marry Laurel. Maria dominating the proceedings, yelling at the officiant and everybody else. Allie is out there as the sympathetic baby face. Laurel is unbearably self-centered. Allie is late getting to the ceremony, but she comes out looking spectacular, while Braxton Sutter does the old sell where his eyes are bugging out of his head like the bad guy in Roger Rabbit. Looking at Allie. Allie then gets in the ring. She trips while trying to deliver the wedding rings. Maria berates her. Laurel then says the nuptials, I do. They ask Braxton, but he just cannot get himself to say the words. The whole time, the crowd is chanting, "We object," "just say no," all sorts of things. Braxton lets everybody know the truth. He's in love with Allie, says, "One day Laurel will make someone very miserable for the rest of their lives, but it's not today, and he's not that guy." The Lady Squad attacks Allie. Braxton stops Maria from slapping Allie. Then he decks Mike Bennett, and all hell breaks loose. Brooke runs down, starts fighting Sienna. Robbie E comes down, starts beating up Mike Bennett. Allie finally gets her revenge on Maria with a spear and beats her up a little bit. Finally, Braxton and Allie kiss as Laurel's in the background, crying on her knees, trashing her flowers, spraying champagne around. This was an awesome segment. And at the very end, the Pope says, "Well, we're going to look forward to the honeymoon. Josh, your honeymoon at Impact here is almost over."
Man.
And they go off the air.
I need to watch this. Everybody said it was awesome.
It was great. Everything you would want in a pro wrestling segment, much like the SmackDown segment as well. Like, everybody played their role perfectly to a T, except here the dialogue was much, much better.
Man, can you imagine that could be like the end of the line? That's like the culmination of the old TNA right there, that wedding.
This was the best wrestling wedding I've seen in a long time.
Really, since Trish came out? That dress? Don't even tell me you've forgotten. We only talked about it last week.
Trish?
Yeah.
Trish Stratus?
Yep. You don't remember this? Oh, man. I'm going to start Googling.
What dress?
While you do Total Divas.
You're talking about me?
Yeah. What do you mean, you? What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
When were we talking about Trish Stratus?
We were just talking about a Kane Lita wedding, right?
No.
Yeah, we were.
No, I don't think so.
It was a couple weeks ago on this show.
A couple weeks ago? You mean months, maybe?
No, it was like 2 weeks ago.
No.
Yeah.